Alright everybody, welcome back. We are sculpting D.VA in ZBrush here, and as you can see we have a very basic face right now, still actually, and we're just working on the lips. You know, I showed a pretty neat technique that I use often for sculpting lips, where you can split your face into two parts and we'll dynamesh it back together later, but for now it just makes it really nice and easy to kind of work on your lips. Each lip separately, individually here, without messing up, well, the other lip. And if you want to know how to do that, you can go ahead and check out the previous part if you haven't seen it. So we're going to keep working on these lips here. I'm really just kind of, well, what I call, and what many artists call, noodling. You just kind of play with it a little bit. I'm using a few different brushes here, just trying to get the basic proportions and shapes here that I want. I'm not looking for anything specific, but I do just want it to be, well, clean right now. And then once it's clean, we can dynamesh these parts back together. I just want this little bit of kind of a concavity there, which you can begin to see start forming. And the rest of this looks really dirty and messy, and keep in mind that that's not really important to us right now. Does not matter. It will get fixed later. We are focusing on big picture stuff, and that's where you should kind of keep your focus. So keeping this in mind, we can kind of, you know, I can use big brush strokes with like a trim brush here on the lips and not really feel super bad about it. Like, oh god, I just messed up my entire surface that I worked so hard to make clean. Well, I'm not like super worried about keeping it clean right now, so no worries, we'll fix it all later. Keep adjusting some of these shapes here. And I haven't mentioned this yet, because I haven't experienced a quick save here in a minute, but just make sure you quick save often, so if you do crash, you don't lose too much progress. And if you don't know where your quick save settings are, you can come up into Preferences, under Quick Save, and adjust your maximum and rest durations in here. These are going to determine how often you quick save, essentially. And if you don't know what a button does in ZBrush, another cool little trick is if you hold the Control key over anything in ZBrush, it'll give you a little bit more information about that. Another nice little shortcut that I like to use often is the solo mode. I have that set to my G key, and that's a really nice hotkey to set where you can turn things on and off very quickly. So I can kind of solo mode this piece here and then adjust my lips how I want them, turn it back on, or off I guess, and then keep working. Pretty useful stuff. And you know, if I got some weird geometry going on down here, I can always just dynamesh this and have it kind of refigure all that out real quick, just so I don't have to worry about it too much. And because I'm keeping things pretty not clean, but kind of free form and dirty, I don't have to worry about it at least too much. Maybe smooth that out a bit, and that's looking probably close enough for our kind of basic shape so that we can merge these together and get a good base here. So what I would like to do is open up my mouth. Not my mouth, but D.VA's mouth, this character's mouth. And we're going to give her a little bit of what's called a mouth bag. And a mouth bag is essentially going to be the cavity inside the character's mouth. And I'm just doing this so that when I do dynamesh these and merge them together, I don't want the lips merging together. I want to keep those separated. And that's just gonna kind of lend to the pursed shape of these lips later down the road. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I just recommend doing this for now, and then you can kind of see what it looks like later. And this nose is really bothering me, so we'll adjust some of this shape here as well. I never put in what I like to call the lobe of the nose, which I know is not the correct name, but I always forget it, and that's okay, because I like the name lobe of the nose more than whatever the actual name is. I think it's like the alar of the nose. I know the nose does have a part called the alar, but I don't know which part that is. So I'm talking out my butt. So keep adjusting some shapes. Keep playing with some of this. And we can kind of come back to this later. The nose is looking a bit big and bulbous. So really quick, just kind of attempt to, nothing happens quickly here in ZBrush, but attempt to quickly get it a little bit smaller just using my move brush so that I can mess with it later. And what's good about keeping things looking nice and ugly is that you remember to work on it later. You're like, holy crap, like that thing looks terrible. I need to work on that more. And adjust this with just a pinch brush, just a little bit. There is a child outside of my home screaming bloody murder. I hope they are not dying. Sorry, and yeah, actually sorry for the extra noise in the background. It's inevitable where I live currently. Dogs and children run rampant, and it is summer, so expect it, and I apologize. Alright, so we'll just say that's close enough for our nose. We'll mess with it more later. And now, guess what? I just turned this to the side and I'm noticing just some proportional problems overall, but we will fix those as we merge this lower lip and top of the head back together. So looking at this, let's go ahead and I'll just delete my lower subdivs. That'll just make it easier for me to not worry about extra time while merging these together. And just kind of using move with backface mask. I just want to overlap those a little bit. It's just going to help with the Dynamesh as I do this. And I'll Dynamesh at 300 or so. Actually, let's do 4 and see what kind of resolution we get. So it is at 13 million. It shouldn't be that high. That's pretty high. But we'll let it Dynamesh and see what it comes up with. So 700,000, that's not bad at all. And then as I kind of, whoops, wrong brush. Sorry about that. Select lasso. You can kind of see in here, I'll turn on double. You can kind of see this, which is our mouth bag that we created there. So let me kind of do a side view so you can see that there is a part of the inside of the mouth there. And people use this for animation and stuff for characters that can be animated. But obviously for this, right now it's not in any state where it could be animated. The topology is, well, look at it, not really ideal for animation. So I kind of use that to help with my sculpting. So as you can kind of see here, these lips look like trash. Need to adjust a lot of shapes going on here, a lot of plane changes. This will take a while, but the mouth bag is really going to help with just kind of creating this separation between the upper and lower lip, and you'll see that a bit later. So just some attempted cleanup on these lips. They don't have to look awesome. Again, just the fact that we have them there is great, and we will get more detailed and adjust those as we go. So like the nose and the lips, hey, we got nose and lips, but they're kind of at like an even state, and I'm trying to keep all these parts at like somewhat an even state so that we can, adjust them and go through each part individually. Alright, so in the next part here, I will not re-topo this, but I'll Z-remesh it and show you guys real quick how to project details and get to a place where you're no longer in Dynamesh, but you can kind of work with some sub-Ds. So we'll do that in the next part here, and I'll see you guys in that one.